The Syrian Civil War, which began in 2011, left a country once vibrant and rich in culture in ruins. But the most devastating impacts go beyond the immediate human toll. Syria's economy and infrastructure have been shattered beyond recognition. In this video, we'll explore the deep scars left on the Syrian economy and its societal fabric, examining the long road to recovery and the incredible challenges ahead. As war raged across the country, Syria's economy went into freefall. Before the conflict, Syria's economy was primarily based on agriculture, oil exports, and a growing services sector. However, during the war, many of Syria's major industries collapsed. The agricultural sector, a key pillar of the economy, was devastated as fields were destroyed and farmers were displaced. Oil production, which once accounted for a significant portion of Syria's revenue, dropped dramatically, especially after key oil fields fell into the hands of opposition groups. One of the most visible effects of the war is the widespread destruction of Syria's infrastructure. Iconic cities like Aleppo, Homs, and Damascus have been reduced to rubble. Thousands of buildings, roads, bridges, and hospitals have been destroyed. The country's electricity grid is in shambles, and access to clean water has become a luxury in many areas. This structural damage has made it nearly impossible to rebuild the nation without substantial external aid, and even that remains a challenge due to the political situation. The Syrian job market has been severely affected by the war. The unemployment rate skyrocketed as businesses closed down, and countless Syrians were forced to flee their homes. Millions of skilled workers and professionals, including doctors, engineers, and teachers, left the country in search of safety, causing a massive brain drain. The local job market, now flooded with displaced individuals, cannot provide adequate employment opportunities, further worsening the economic crisis. The Syrian pound has lost more than 90% of its value since the onset of the war. Hyperinflation has made basic goods like food, medicine, and fuel unaffordable for most Syrians. With wages stagnant and costs soaring, the middle class has been wiped out. The currency crisis has been exacerbated by economic sanctions, which limit Syria's access to international markets and further isolate the country from the global economy. International sanctions have played a significant role in Syria's economic downturn. Nations like the United States and European Union imposed severe sanctions on the Assad regime, targeting its oil exports, financial institutions, and individuals linked to the government. These sanctions, while intended to pressure Assad into political negotiations, have contributed to the economic paralysis felt by ordinary Syrians. With limited access to foreign investments, the rebuilding process is an uphill battle. The war has decimated Syria's public services. Hospitals and schools have been destroyed or severely damaged, and many are operating without sufficient staff or resources. The healthcare system, once considered among the best in the Middle East, has been stretched to the breaking point. There is a severe shortage of medical supplies, and many hospitals have closed, leaving millions without access to basic healthcare. Despite these challenges, there is hope. Syria's reconstruction will take years, if not decades, and will require international cooperation and massive investment. But the road to recovery is not just about rebuilding physical infrastructure, it's about restoring livelihoods, healing the wounds of war, and addressing the root causes of conflict. As Syria slowly begins to rebuild, the international community must play a crucial role in ensuring a stable and peaceful future for its people. The Syrian conflict has left deep scars on both the economy and the society. As we've seen, the damage is far-reaching, affecting everything from the job market to public health systems. But Syria's resilience, along with the aid and support of the international community, could help the nation begin to recover in the years to come. The road ahead is long, but the first step is understanding the extent of the damage and the immense challenges in rebuilding this war-torn country. Syria is often referred to as the cradle of civilization. The ancient city of Palmyra, for example, was once a thriving center of trade and culture. Known for its monumental columns, towering temples, and grand archways, Palmyra was a gem of Roman-era architecture. But when ISIS captured the city in 2015, they systematically destroyed many of its most iconic structures, including the Temple of Bel and the Arch of Triumph, turning this UNESCO World Heritage Site into rubble. Why was Palmyra so significant? It wasn't just an archaeological treasure, it was a symbol of Syria's deep historical roots. The destruction of Palmyra sent a shockwave around the world, sparking outrage over the loss of such an ancient and unique cultural site. Aleppo's Old City, another UNESCO site, was once a bustling center of life with its ancient citadel, mosques, souks, and baths. Dating back over 2,000 years, it stood as a testament to Syria's rich blend of cultures. The battle for Aleppo left its old city shattered, with buildings reduced to rubble and countless centuries-old structures lost. The iconic Aleppo citadel, a medieval fortress, suffered considerable damage during the conflict. The Great Mosque of Aleppo, one of the most revered sites in the Islamic world, was also severely affected, with its minaret and parts of the structure destroyed. The human cost of war was tragic, but the loss of such a rich architectural heritage was equally painful. Maaloula is one of the few places in the world where people still speak Aramaic, the language of Jesus Christ. It's a village nestled in the mountains northeast of Damascus and is home to ancient Christian monasteries, such as St. Sergius and Bacchus. But when the conflict spread to this region, extremist groups targeted Maaloula, attacking its monasteries and churches. Maaloula's St. Thecla Monastery was looted and damaged, while religious artifacts were stolen or destroyed. The cultural and religious significance of Maaloula goes beyond its history. It represents the ancient connection between Christianity and the Middle East. The damage to Maaloula was not just physical, but also symbolic of the erosion of Syria's Christian heritage. The mosque, also known as the Great Mosque of Damascus, is one of the oldest and largest mosques in the world. Dating back to the 8th century, this monumental site is revered by Muslims and is an architectural masterpiece. Despite suffering minor damages, the mosque remained a symbol of Syrian resilience throughout the conflict. However, nearby areas, including the Omari Mosque in Daraa and others in Aleppo, have not been as fortunate, suffering from artillery fire and destruction. The damage to these places is a reminder that the war isn't just tearing apart cities, it's wiping away the spiritual foundations of many Syrians who find solace in these holy sites. While some of the damage to Syria's historical sites was caused directly by bombing and combat, another devastating issue has been the looting of ancient artifacts. Extremist groups like ISIS not only destroyed monuments but also smuggled out priceless artifacts to fund their operations. Archaeological sites such as Apamea, Duri Ropos, and Ugarit have been ransacked, with statues, pottery, and relics sold on the black market.